A lot of the problems that mankind go through mostly stem from boredom and emptiness. If you look at it, life is actually pretty empty, existence pretty empty, and it can be pretty boring. Why do you think we have entertainment? Why is YouTube so big? Why is Netflix so big? Why is why are sports so big? It's because we get bored, even when it comes to work. I've come to the realization that we would rather suffer and in the grind. A lot of people, whether they want to admit it or not, they would rather be at work, stressing out, stressing over deadlines, grinding through hard labor, all just to avoid the boredom of that empty feeling you get inside when you just sit alone in a room in silence. The thing is, people think that they can be alone with themselves. They think that, well, they think I do nothing. I can chill by myself. I don't need constant entertainment. But then if you go on your phone and you look at your screen time, or you go on your YouTube watch time, or you realize how many TV shows you've watched, or how many films you've watched, or how many books you've read, then you start to realize that we have this sort of default of trying to fill the space because we find it unbearable to remain empty. I mean, why do we do the things we do? Why is the system like this right now? It's because humanity can't sit still. It has to stay in motion. It's like that lack of stimulation is, it's like we're allergic to the silence. We're allergic to the emptiness. Even if I stopped speaking for 20 seconds right now, if I just stopped speaking for 20 seconds, you'd probably start waiting for me to say the next word, waiting for the gap to be filled. They say nature abhors a vacuum. It seems so. But the nature of the emptiness is that it can't be escaped. You distract yourself and distract yourself and distract yourself. But at the end, you always fall back into that pit of emptiness. And that's why people fear death. That fear of the unknown, that fear of the emptiness. I mean, sometimes I watch videos of men complaining about the dating market, and I don't blame them. But it's like half of the time they're complaining about women and about dating, but then half of the time they're chasing women and they're chasing relationships. So even though they can see the stress is putting them through, the ordeal just to get and maintain a relationship, they still chase relationships. And why? because there's nothing to do. So you think, I might as well get a girlfriend. You sit at home, you're broke, you have nothing to do. So you decide to go to work to make a lot of money so you can buy a lot of items, so you have more things to do. You can purchase more experiences such as vacations. You just want to have more things to do, more things to distract yourself with. And this is where many of the spiritual traditions try to flip this on its head, and they purposefully give up all their possessions. They purposefully try to sit within that emptiness and embrace it, rather than trying to run away from it constantly. And this can work to some degree. I mean, one thing I've realized is that emptiness embraced can lead to states of bliss, but rejected, it leads to a painful boredom. The problem is the emptiness will still remain. You may gain a higher tolerance for it. You may be able to sit in the emptiness for long hours, but eventually your body will want to move. Our nervous systems are wired for stimulation. And although we live in a time of overstimulation, in general, our nervous system does want some kind of stimulation. That's why so many people are addicted to things like scrolling on Instagram, cigarettes, drinking, socializing, gym, working, sex, pornography. Doesn't really matter what. Every single addiction, every single loop is just a fill in the blank. You feel bored, you feel empty, so you turn to fill in the blank. You're feeling bored, you're feeling empty, so you turn to fill in the blank. And the moment fill in the blank is missing, you turn to another fill in the blank. And you keep on running away from the void indefinitely. But the void always comes back, or rather, you always fall back into the void because the void never left. The void always stays with you. We are one with the void, really and truly. But that's the truth that no one wants to look at. So, I mean, what can we do about that? Is there anything we can do? Not really. You can try and cultivate healthier habits to where the activities you engage in to escape the void are not having negative consequences on your health. For example, rather than scrolling on Instagram short form content, you can read a book. But see, I mean, that is healthier and so on and so forth. But if I'm being honest, the things which I don't know why it's like this. Sometimes it really annoys me, but what I've realized is that the things which are quote unquote healthier, and the things that actually are healthier for us, they don't seem to have that same kick as the things which are quote unquote unhealthy. For example, if you drink water, yeah, it may be healthy, but it's not gonna really have the same kick as a shot of alcohol or as a cigarette. The cigarette, yes, it's slowly killing you, but at least it's an experience. It has this sort of electrifying feeling where you feel alive. This is why people do these things. People are not stupid. They realize that these things are bad for them. They know that it's killing them slowly, and yet they still do it. Why is that? It's because it's giving them something in that moment. And what it's giving them is something real, although it's temporary. And that's what some spiritual teachers will try and tell you, is that if it's temporary, then it's not true. But I don't think that's completely accurate. Just because something's temporary doesn't mean it's not true, doesn't mean it's not there, doesn't mean it's not real. It's temporary. It's not untrue. So, I mean, you can choose to live your life how you want. The void will remain with you regardless. This is just something I was thinking about today. Um, you can take it how you want it.